I had some negative things to say.
Yeah. And what's the motherfucking deal, YouTube? It's your boy Donte, Coach Donte, back with another special guest, man. Back with the grind again, the grind game. Shout out to Houston Nation, Eagle Nation. Shout out to Philly Nation. Shout out to everybody, man, that come by
Yep.
my channel daily and support, man. We got definitely a special guest, man. We have a baseball man today. So we're gonna be talking Phillies, Astros. That's all we're gonna be talking, man. So I want y'all go sub to this man channel. His name Philly Sports Podcast. He dropped that content. Ben Simmons content, Philadelphia Sixers, Philadelphia Phillies, Philadelphia everything. This man is all over the place. And we gonna let's help this man get to 100 subs, man. So give it up for my boy Philly Sports Podcast, man. Welcome to the channel.
What's going on, everybody? That's all right. It's good to be on and actually do something.
Yeah.
With another content creator of a different fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, because the thing it is, it's like I have no problems getting outside my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Having you being like a fan of like the Houston Texans, the Rockets, all that. It's pretty cool to get into. The only one I will never get into is for Dallas. That's the only that's the only exception.
Anything like I gotta slap myself in the head because I just feel like but the only team that's good in Houston right now is the Houston Astros. That's the only team that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm just basically like the Phillies with those two teams, man. It just straight up an embarrassment and just you don't know how.
Well, and the thing about this, because I've watched the Astros during their bad times where they have Bo Porter as their manager before.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I remember that. God, those 3 seasons where you guys had some decent players back then. You got Chris Carter. And, and the way that I know going on the beating around the dead horse, the cheating scandals. It's like and look, that's the part of baseball. That's been done for the last 150 plus years. Now the technology's there, but that's kind of like the old school. I don't want to say it's tradition, but like the try to it's basically one up. And as much as I love Altuve for what he's done as a over his time with the Astros, actually proving everybody wrong. Baseball is not all about size. And it's just like because as a kid, I remember I watched this show called Thomas the Tank Engine. He's like the little engine that could, and that's what I'm thinking of Altuve. But what I saw in the World Series was when he grabbed his shorts, I was like, I kind of feel a little bit sus about it because it's like I feel like it's something because like there's no because if he had a tattoo right here, like he said, you could obviously see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think over the years, it's like you guys knew how to draft. You guys, despite we got stuck with Vince Velasquez over the couple of years.
Yeah,
and look, that's a whole nother thing. But Mark Appel, as much as I feel bad for the and the fact that he's actually making a comeback too. He's already he's already at AAA already. But like the best, I think overall, I still remember the days like when Hunter Pence was still there in Houston. When there was still the National League, which is and that's the thing too. When I thought they were switching to the American League, it's like that's kind of stupid. And then again, it just clicked in my head. So the West Coast probably needs more American League. There's one more American League team to kind of balance it out a little bit because I remember guys like Lance Berkman, Hunter Pence, Roy Oswalt. God, Altuve when he was still young. I was like, at the time, I didn't know who Altuve was because of his size. But, and this kind of applies too, because like I've been, and I really, and the thing about me is I used to grow up in Phillies and a Yankees fan. But the only exception was because I grew up in the era where they still had Jeter, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, Bernie Williams, guys like that. The old, not like the current generation. I was like, I gave up on a long time ago. But I kind of just admired that group, that core that the Yankees had back in the early 2000s, the late 90s, early
Yeah.
2000s, and I just fell in love with it. Even I still remember Mike Mussina was still part of that squad.
Yeah.
And and I was born in '97, so there's some players
I was
that
born in 90.
parts of time I shouldn't even be remembering, but yeah, and this also applies to I mean the Phillies I've watched since God, this is when maybe like the early 2000s, along with that same time period. Um, actually when they still played at the vet, they still had
Yeah.
I didn't fully get into it until by like in the late almost towards the 2010s. I've watched their World Series run in 2008, and my grandpa was
Yeah.
part in 1980. And I think over the years, I mean, I had some favorite players over the years for the Phillies. Ryan Howard was one of my all time favorites because he was just a dangerous power hitter, especially during I think it was his MVP his MVP season in
Mhm.
2006, where he actually kind of thought I think he broke Mike Schmidt's home run record in the most in a single season. It's like I was just like
Yeah.
I was just shocked. I was shocked.
And you know
And
what? I'm gonna agree with you on something because I'm totally full agreement with you on this one. Most of those, like everybody, want to call the Astros cheaters, but it's the real reason. Like the real reason, like the commissioner. I'm glad kind of he didn't take the World Series title from us because he knew that we was a better team than the Los Angeles Dodgers. That was an epic series too, man.
oh,
I enjoyed.
definitely.
Oh yeah,
And this is where I
yeah.
say think the Astros, like teams like the Astros, the Dodgers, they knew how to develop players.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Think
yeah,
about it. You wouldn't have
yeah,
Carlos Carrera as the number one overall pick in the farm system like that.
yeah.
Actually a potential free agent
Mm-hmm,
that my Phillies are trying to acquire since obviously we have Didi for the next 2 seasons, a temporary placeholder. Even
mm-hmm.
though I think Bryson Stott may not be ready in time. Um,
What
like
up,
there's a
Clearwater?
few because I made a video on this too. Of different pitchers that are going to be could be potential free agents.
Mm-hmm,
And I know this may be a stretch. One of the names that I mentioned was Jacob DeGrom. If he opts out of his contract,
mm-hmm.
I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, that could be a dangerous. Because
Yeah, I
we already got
mean,
Zach Wheeler in the rotation. Now he's
yeah.
got just add Jacob DeGrom and Phillies pinstripes.
Oh
But
my goodness,
but
man.
like I said, it was a stretch to see the imagination. Mike Leake's another guy that I thought it could be a perfect perfect. And this was at the time where I thought replacements for Matt Moore and Chase Anderson because
Yeah.
God forbid it's nuts. That's just all I'm just saying. Plus, also, I made something on the center fielder position or center fielder issue.
Mm-hmm.
One guy, and I'm definitely going to probably make this video about this tomorrow. Actually, no, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Tomorrow's my NBA roundtable, but
Yeah,
after
I'm
that,
I'm be on that round table
yeah,
tomorrow.
I can't wait for
Yeah.
that. But
Got you, man.
I was talking about maybe a potential trade with the Miami, getting Starling Marte into
Yeah.
Philadelphia. But yeah, it's just like there's a lot because the way I mean, as much as I shit on the Phillies a lot for over the because we haven't been to the playoffs since 2011, and I remember
Wow, it been
closely.
that long?
Yeah, because I remember that the last time we played in 2011 in the postseason was the St. Louis Cardinals, and that's when I remember, and that's when Ryan Howard tore his Achilles, and that's where he
Mm-hmm.
started his decline. And but yeah, I mean that's just kind of what it was. And
All
still,
right.
like it was
I'm
weird.
a,
Back, what was
Go
that?
ahead. I'm gonna tell you this. Tell the people where they can follow you, and I'm gonna get you with the first question of the day. I want to hit you with this
Oh,
first question.
actually, that's a good idea. You can also
Yeah.
find me at Philly Podcast YT on Twitter and Philly Sports 97
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram. Because I will usually will post tweet like random stuff on my Twitter and post like updates. That's where you can find the
Mm-hmm.
most time where I'm most active.
All right. So first question I want to present you with, man, because I don't want to put too much stress. I know
Hey,
you
look,
feel it. Oh my God. I know you feel this had a down couple of seasons down. You forget the pandemic year and last year,
yeah,
and you got Bryce Harper to come from the Nationals.
yeah,
What
and
else? Go ahead. Go ahead.
still one of the most. I thought as I I'm thinking to myself, okay, so we got Bryce Harper. Another guy I was, crossing my fingers for was Mike Trout because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that far from Millville.
Yeah.
So like I was like, please, can we get Mike Trout in pinstripes? Because we all know he's as a huge Eagles fan. Because like
Oh yeah.
it's just
Yeah, I
like
saw that
it's time.
Eagles
I'm thinking
fan.
to myself, it's time to bring him home.
Oh
But
yeah, he
yeah,
the
like
best. He's no doubt the best player in baseball too, no doubt.
um,
So, college,
maybe Shohei
yeah.
Otani might take that
Oh,
crown.
right now, yeah. But when I'm talking when Mike Trout is on the field, when on the
It's
field, he
like
has a
it's
yeah.
like yeah, exactly. Same with Shohei Otani. He's another guy
Mm-hmm.
that
Oh yeah.
I'm starting to really he's starting to grow on me
Oh my
because it's just like this just hasn't happened in the last 100 years.
goodness.
And Babe Ruth, say, oh, he's like, we all knew that Babe Ruth is the greatest of all time when it comes to as a hitter. But
Yeah.
what Shohei Otani is doing on the both sides of the baseball, it's like, what are we watching? Like, what are we seeing? That's what I'm saying.
Cause all I get on Twitter, all I get notifications on Twitter, like Key in the building, she'll text about the Philly, you will text about the Philly. I'll be like, what the
Hey,
hell is going on with the Philly? What the hell
hey,
going on
look,
with that team over
the
there?
way that I see it, and from because I see it as from a baseball player perspective,
Yeah,
from the pitching side of things,
yeah.
even though hitting my strong suit, and I see the only issue. I mean, I know obviously the starting rotation needs a little bit tinkering because of the last two
Mm-hmm.
spots, but the bullpen wise, with some of the arms that's been going, not producing, it's like
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like it's like a slap in the face. Because for me, I'm a utility pitcher.
Yeah.
I can start games and I can be out of the bullpen. But when it comes to as a bullpen guy,
Yeah.
it's like a huge slap in the face. That's just
Yeah.
like, and look, and there's some guys that actually has stepped up. Even though
Yeah.
some were off a little bit. Jose Alvarado, when
Mm-hmm.
when he got brought over in the trade, I was like,
That was with the Rays, right?
with
That's
the
the
Rays,
left-handed. Yeah, okay.
yes. And Archie Bradley, I thought was one of a solid pickup.
Remember him in Archie Bradley's when Arizona, the relief pitcher.
Oh God, I still remember
yeah.
when he got hit when he took a line drive to the cheek.
Ooh.
Back in the day, you heard that.
Ooh,
I was like, oh, it's like some injuries, like it makes you want to like it just that flight instinct will kick in. It's like oh, there goes my teeth. It was like a huge crack. It's like, oh God,
yeah.
another
So
and there's wait, what was that?
I want to tell you this. Who is to blame for the Eagles struggle? I know y'all. I mean, not for the Eagles, but for the Philly struggle. Because, like I say, I know y'all got Bryce Harper. I
Well,
know y'all got Didi. Y'all
okay,
got
so
JT Realmuto too, and he's the catcher. JT
and
Realmuto.
we signed it for the next 5 seasons.
Yeah. So who's the struggle? Who's the blame
Let's
for this
see.
team struggles?
Well, I think I don't think it's like not one particular individual. I think it's just a. I think I'm well. Let me rephrase it. I blame it on John Milton for not spending money over the luxury tax threshold.
Mm-hmm.
I know we have like a $200 million payroll, but you have teams like the Dodgers and the Astros. These large market teams won't hesitate to pay that extra whatever the penalty is for since they're over the tax.
Yeah.
And now with the Dodgers, they're almost 300 million over the tax threshold. It's like now you see why like teams like the Dodgers and the Astros, these large market teams, kind of like even us too. I mean, and I did a video about this too. It's the only idea is that I would rather have him sell the team, kind of how what the Mets were doing, even though and. To be clear, I do hate the Mets, but over the years, they had some good players that come through. That came through that team.
Yeah.
Mike Piazza.
Yep. David Wright.
David Wright, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, David Wright, I still feel like he's still underappreciated as a third baseman.
Man, that dude is one of the most underappreciated third basemen. He
is.
David Wright, yes.
And actually, as much as I love, now it's like there's some like Michael Conforto is another one because I've actually enjoyed watching him when he was at Oregon State.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, like, even though he's going to be a free agent, I think the Phillies need to jump on him, for outfield help because obviously, we got to injure, McCutcheon for like another season or two.
Mm-hmm.
and the way that he's been produced, it's like, okay, so after that ACL injury that he suffered, which was a weird one to look at it. But yeah, I think Middleton is. I would say it was
Oh, is he frozen?
Phillies fans. The most blame is from like
Yeah.
Girardi's mistakes.
Yeah.
I know coaching sometimes can be a problem at times, but
Yeah.
you got to take it thinking about it this way. Look at the resume that Girardi has put up for the last handful of years. Even from a catcher himself in the '80s when he was playing with the Chicago Cubs, the New York
Yeah.
Yankees in the '90s. Part of that dynasty in the '90s. Like,
Yeah.
like, and as much as and I was like, and it's weird now. Like, it's like. And people are sometimes I have the deja vu. Like maybe think sometimes I see some that are some like Gabe Kapler stands at times
Mm-hmm.
because of what he's accomplished out in San Francisco. I was like, what? What
Bro, I
the
mean,
hell?
everybody like what's wrong with Joe Girardi? Like, people don't like his personality. I knew the
I don't.
Yankees. That's the reason why he was out of New York, because people didn't like the way he talked to players. He held players
Well,
accountable. So what's
exactly.
going on over there in Philly with Joe
I don't
Girardi?
know. Like, because for me, Girardi. If look, Girardi, if I would see Girardi is one of those guys I would enjoy playing under because
Yeah, yeah, of
I've
course.
played under hard nosed coaches. It got me.
Mm-hmm.
I've even as a Sixers fan too. When we brought
Yeah.
in Doc Rivers, and I'll talk that about in a minute, but the
Okay.
word accountability over the years of my career, like sometimes that's not in our vocabulary, and some of the
Yeah.
coaches I've played for.
Yeah.
It's when I had like some like Girardi type coaches over the years.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started getting accountable. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if one practice didn't go well for me, I'll like stay after. And just
Yeah.
work and just get work in. That's just kind of how it kind of started that mentality. Like you're not going to get better if you don't put in the extra work. And this is
Yeah.
why I think this is why Girardi, as much as people hate him, and I'm not
Yeah.
one of them. I've always
Not
I
one of them
always
either.
It's just like, and what I like about Girardi is just his meltdowns. His meltdowns are super funny as hell. Especially tournaments night. I've never seen a manager have a vein pop out his neck, like literally pop out of his neck. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like
Yeah.
it's funny. It's like it's what it is. That's what I liked about Girardi. He doesn't hesitate to stick up for his players, but
Yep.
overall, in the sense of things, I feel like John Munson is majority to blame
Mm-hmm.
because we have this much. Even though we're paying, I know we have a $200 million payroll, but I just feel like we need some few pieces. Obviously
Mm-hmm.
4 and 5 need to be fixed. Some of the couple bullpen arms I've talked about that need to go.
Yeah.
Hector Neris is one of them. As much as I just kind of had enough of him. I think the only ones that I can feel like that are a mainstay in that bullpen is Archie Bradley,
Okay.
Alvarado. I guess you can put Matt Moore in there because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
his splits are so much different in the bullpen, so I feel like he can be a okay piece or just ship him out somewhere. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where my perspective is on like the
Mm-hmm.
majority of the blame for the Phillies' struggles is
I
the
want to
ownership.
get to this the 3-game series, the 3-game sweep that pretty much y'all been struggling against y'all struggled against a bad team, I believe.
Got it. I think it's the
What was the
Mar.
series that y'all struggled? The
I think
Marlins,
it's.
and then y'all coming off a sweep
I don't understand.
against the
There's
New
something
York
about the
Yankees.
Marlins that
Where,
it feels like it's our kryptonite. I don't understand it. It's what annoys the living crap out of me is with the Marlins. Like if we play, say,
yeah,
we had no, and Colorado too. Don't get me started on that. That's just like
no, gotta
that's a hitter's
get out.
ballpark for crying out loud. The baseball flies out there. I'm just like, so we had it's two teams that we struggled to. That was Miami, who I think
And,
who has a bright future with a lot of, even though as Phillies fans, it still kind of bites us the ends. We got rid of Sixto Sanchez, but
mhm,
I feel like kind of paid off in the end because we got one of the better catchers in baseball. And
mhm.
I'm sorry, and this is why I feel like I don't want to take shots at White Sox fans because Grandal is not that better than Real Muto.
Yeah. Realmuto is very good.
It's just
He's
like,
very good.
I mean, like, the fact that we like, because I hear like other teams that were, in talks of trading for him. Next thing I see, the Phillies snuck under the radar and just stole away from everybody. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
even though that's one of our biggest issues, because other than the best catcher we had was Chuge back in like the most recent years.
Yeah.
He was even on the decline along with Chase Utley. God, Chase Utley looks so much different now with that gray hair. I was like, man, that makes me feel old.
So I mean, like y'all coming off a sweep, y'all coming off a sweep being swept for the Yankees. What are the things that you saw that went wrong against that Yankees in that Yankee series? What are the things you saw that went wrong?
Runners in scoring position. That's become our
Mm-hmm.
biggest kryptonite. And even now, like, because also play in a men's league, and that's where that because I know we only play 17 games in a men's
Mm-hmm.
league, but we are successful. There are times where we only get like one across, but most times not we'll have we'll get runners into scoring position and kind of just drive them in. But what the
Yeah.
Phillies are doing, it's just like I just felt it's like a mental block for them,
Yeah.
and not to mention like the new Yankee Stadium is a hitter's friendly ballpark, especially to right field because of that short porch. Because I still remember,
Mm-hmm.
old Yankee Stadium with the short porches, but I kind of just feel like they're not taking advantage of it. That's where I
Yeah.
kind of feel like that needs to be improved on.
Yeah. I mean, like I said again, the last game of the series, I believe it was 5-5. It was 5-5.
I
I forgot somebody hit a 2-run
That was
base
Ryan
hit.
Lamar.
Yeah,
Ryan
so
Lamar, and that's like it.
mhm.
And that's why
I
I
could
stopped watching for a while because it's like I'm not putting myself through pain.
again, like
Uh,
I say, man, I don't understand how the Phillies are,
I don't
a
know.
bad baseball team. They got Bryce Harper. They got I believe they got some hitters in that offense. And like I say, what's better? What the Mets got better than the Phillies right now? What does the Mets? What one thing the Mets have that Philly don't have? What one thing that separates
Starting
these
with
two
the
teams?
only you said what hitters?
No, what one thing that separates
Okay,
these two teams or two
a
teams?
starting rotation.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. No, actually, I think it's the bottom of the rotation. Because I kind of
Mm-hmm.
feel like the Mets have at least some decency down there compared to us, where we had the strong top three.
Mm-hmm.
And what Zach will speaking of Zach Wheeler, what he's been doing
Mm-hmm.
this year, I just like it's exceptional. The fact that he's in third in the major leagues in strikeouts,
Mm-hmm.
because you got Garrett Cole, I think leading it. You got Degrom two. Now you
Mm-hmm.
got Zach Wheeler getting three. I just like it. Just I just feel like this is going to be the best money well spent on Zach Wheeler, and it's just like what he's gone throughout his career. I just feel like,
Yeah.
and look, each team has their star pitchers. As much as I love Nola, but Nola's been inconsistent the last couple of years. But it just seems like when Zach Wheeler is getting better,
Yeah.
well, and I made this kind of like this different comparison to where like the Sixer. God, do I really want to make this comparison? But fuck it. But fuck it.
Yeah. Y'all ahead, baby. Y'all ahead, baby. Y'all ahead, do it,
I
man.
made a Ben Simmons comparison too because like how
Oh
Ben Simmons
shit.
is regressing. Same
Yeah.
with Nola, but Nola is willing to work,
Yeah.
and it's just like obviously Ben Simmons is regressing and doesn't want to work.
Yeah. He
That's
doesn't
the
want to work. He doesn't.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah. Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
made that
Yeah.
comparison a little bit because it's just like I don't know. There's something about it. It's just like when you regress over like one or two times, one or like a year or two. It's just like it just like changes that mindset. But with the in
Mm-hmm.
case of Zach Wheeler, going off of Tommy John surgery earlier in his career, finally getting his All Star night, which is I'm surprised that he hasn't got that. He should be like at least a multi-time All Star, but it still blows my mind that he still hasn't racked up amount. But I know like the injuries I know kind of play a part of it, but it's just like, it's finally, I kind of feel, he deserve, it's finally the good recognition that he needs. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, so and that's the thing too. And I made I think I want to do a video about this too.
Yeah.
Potential Cy Young predictions because
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's going to wind up finishing the top three in Cy Young
Hmm.
voting. And that's where, and this is what I'm trying to. This is what I said about Nola try to replicate what he did in 2018, which is his best season of his
Okay.
career. But it's just like, yeah, I just feel like the Mets have decent arms in the 4 5 spot of the rotation. But the only problem that the Mets always have is injuries.
Yeah.
And I think and when I think because I'm thinking the Phillies really need to take advantage.
Yeah.
Because and look, I mean they have some decent players over there. I mean, not trying to throw any disrespect on the Grom, but I think when it comes to the pitching staff, I just feel like that's the only pitcher they got. But the only problem is, it's like no matter what lead he gets, their bullpen stinks.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I mean we're in that same
Yeah.
boat too,
Yeah.
but and it's just like some teams that we are, like you said, we struggled against Colorado, we struggled
Yeah.
against Miami.
Yeah, I see that.
I
They
mean,
put 11
and
runs on you guys on Sunday. They put 11 runs on you guys Sunday. 11-6.
yeah,
Gotta have batting practice a little bit on y'all.
yeah, exactly.
Hey man, and then
And
y'all
look, I sure.
go ahead.
But yeah, but that's because with the Phillies, I know I love the Phillies to death, but they just kind of annoy. They kind of piss me off at times. They're
Yeah,
very inconsistent the last 2 to 3 seasons.
yeah,
After 2011, I kind of swear that's when they started that skid,
yeah.
and it's weird because I said, and I've talked to my few buddies of mine too. I say why don't ship. Ever since when Calvert got fired, I said I have a feeling he's going to go onto like a West Coast team. Next thing
Hmm.
you know, he goes on the San Francisco to the Giants and just for some odd reason has a lot of success there. So I'm thinking to myself, I say, and he's from the West Coast. It's like, why the fuck he's come here onto the north to the eastern
Yeah.
coast?
And
It
that's
just
and that's what we all talk about. You see a player come from your farm system and go somewhere else. That's what we talk about right there. Could it be inability to develop players, just like you said, the
I actually
Astros? Just think about us. We got our players from the draft. Tuve comes from the draft. Correa was drafted. We got Jordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker was drafted to the Astros. George Springer was well. We got our players for the draft. So what does that come in a little bit when a player go to another team? Is it ability to make a person better to develop guys? So what do you think would that come in to play it? Or do you
well,
put
let's
it on
see. I
the
think with the
player?
changes, like the way that, and that's the thing too. Like that when a player goes with a change of scenery, it can be either good or bad.
Yeah.
Like let's see. Let me kind of trying to think of an example here. When Halliday came, and I'm going to think about this too. When we traded for Halliday
Mm-hmm.
and from the Blue Jays, I think for some odd reason he just somehow found success here.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing a perfect game in 2010 against the Marlins, which I saw
Remember that.
one of the greatest moments, and a
Yeah.
no hitter against the Cincinnati Reds.
Remember that. Yeah.
And it's like,
Remember that.
but yeah, I just like, and I still remember when we got, we still had Oswald, Joe. God,
Oh
over
man.
the years as
Yeah.
a Phillies fan, man, we had some pretty great rotations.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cole Hamels leading the way, which I'm really hoping
Mm-hmm.
the Phillies can bring, at least give him like at least a year, because I kind
Mm-hmm.
of feel like feel like the Braves kind of like I know, and this is where I feel like the Phillies fans kind of low, got pissed because the Phillies low balled Cole Hamels with an offer. I think it was like 2.5 for a 1 year, like a 1 year deal, but the
Mm-hmm.
Braves kind of paid 18 million for a 1 year deal for Hamels, and when he wanted to get hurt in the shortened season, and
Yeah.
came back, and I know he's going to be going to. He's getting up there in age. So it's like at least bring him home for like 1 year. Not for the
Mm-hmm.
nostalgia purposes for most of us because it's like we're in desperate need of pitching, no matter how
Yeah.
you look at it. And actually, and I've talked about this too. And this is where I kind of disagree with a lot of with the with the Phillies fans especially of our draft picks.
Yeah.
And the fact that and we picked Andrew Painter with our draft pick this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, it's like nowadays it's like you see guys like doing like 95 plus. Like
Mm-hmm.
freaking high school is doing that.
High school is doing, yep.
It's just like
Yeah.
I was like, where was I? Because I was in high school from 2012 to 2016. Because the velocity I've seen from, I say, maybe low 80s to about varsity, I saw about 91 and 92.
Mm-hmm.
And I
What I
obviously,
saw.
and I had no problems hit 91 and 92 and, and all that. Because at the time, because we were on a playoff run, we were the 16th
Mm-hmm.
seed in our conference playoffs or the playoff seeding. And Wildwood, I'll never forget it because Wildwood was one of those teams that kind of gave us problems during the regular season.
Yeah.
Um, when I literally had the game ball on my trophy case because I actually
Mm-hmm.
two of them because I have two. I want to finish the year with two varsity hits, and then it's just now looking back at it, it's just like, and I basically throughout my high school, I pretty much became like like a hero, just kind of saving the season a little bit because we were tied going into this, and I think it was the sixth, and my memory serves me
Yeah.
right. Because it was a two-run single too, so we had two speedy guys on base. That's like, it just and I think this kid was like throwing like 93 to 94. So this is during the time where velocity started becoming, an occurrence before when the 95 plus comes in.
Yep.
But I think the fastest I've ever got a hit off was like 93 to 94.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like because and I remember back when I went to the batting cages, I literally learned how to get used to seeing that velocity when I went to varsity was with
Mm-hmm.
certain teams. So and I did that, and then it just came easy with me, and at the time because I was using a BB core bat. Now I'm in a
Yep.
league where I'm still getting accustomed to wood because I've been in my men's league for 7 seasons. I'm still having a hard time getting accustomed to using a wood bat.
So
Like
down the road, what do you see down the road? I'm gonna tell you the trade deadline coming up soon. Uh, what do you expect the Phillies to do? Do you expect them to make a move? Make a move?
I would think so. I would think they should make a move because it's just like because the trade deadline is I think this is a perfect opportunity for the
Mm-hmm.
Phillies to jump on and address some of the needs. Obviously we're definitely going to need a shortstop. We all know that from the start because Correa is going
Yeah.
to be a free agent. Story's going to be free. Nobody
Yeah,
talking about yeah.
Trevor Story is pretty hot out there. Trevor Story is
Yeah,
pretty hot out there.
everybody wants Trevor,
Yes,
and that's
yes.
the thing too. Like that's another thing with Colorado, and this is why I think Colorado might be one of the. I think when it comes to team, I mean they're loved as a franchise, but their ownership is complete.
Yeah.
Their front office is horrendous. We actually do. I mean, think about it. I mean, there's a lot of articles, and I did a video on this too. So I don't know if you guys should check that out.
Yeah.
Of potential free agents. Because I kind of mentioned a lot different names. Trevor Story.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else was going to be. I think it was going to be available. God, I think you should have the list. I know there was some pitchers names that are going to be. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
like I say,
legend
man.
pitchers names like Degrom was one of them. If he chose to opt out, which I know which is a stretch, but I don't think he will. Um, Mike Leake's another one I would want to mind having. Despite the
Okay.
fact he's in the high 80s, low 90s.
Okay.
I feel like Colin Henderson, another one I can go get behind because growing up, like Greg Mouse is the one guy I watched growing up. At the
Okay.
time because it's like other than Kyle Hendricks and like some of these other guys who kind of what Greg Mouse there's just like and thinking to myself like I was like man like for a guy who's dominant as Greg Maddux was, but not with velocity wise, it's just like it's weird to see how that play. It just fucks with you. It's just like, and I still remember this. Even I was watching games like Kerry. Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game when he was with the Cubs.
When he played the Astros, it came against the Astros. Yes,
Yeah, I remember
that was
that.
electric. That was electric. That was definitely electric right
Yeah,
there.
it's like, man.
Man,
I know other pitchers have done it. You know, Max Scherzer has done it. Randy Johnson's done it. It's like at some point, someone's going to wind up have to break that strikeout record. Someone needs to get that magical number 21. It's just
So
like it's just it's just like to do something like that. You know, having Kerry Wood doing it, the big unit doing it, Max Scherzer's like you're going to like to some elite. See, I will see. I've always enjoyed watching Randy Johnson pitch.
yes,
Because it's like what he brings, you know, size wise, about 6'10", you know, coming off a mound, it's like he just he killed. He's got it. It's like the one memory I still remember. He killed a dub in spring training. Killed a bird in spring. I think it was a spring training game. God, that's like man.
Yeah, Randy Johnson is the GOAT, man. Randy, I'm that perfect game that he pitched against Atlanta.
Oh my God,
that was sick,
even Mark DeRosa. I was still remembering when Mark DeRosa was still a player back then. Chipper Jones is and when it comes to like you know Braves players, you know of my current generation, Chipper Jones is one guy I've liked. I've always had a huge respect for. Same with And I've watched I've been keeping an eye on the Philly scout team. On that team, they had, you know, CC Sabathia's son, Andrew Jones Jr.
Yep.
I was like, okay. I was like, okay.
So if you had a chance, what do you rank Chipper Jones at? What do you rank him?
Does it depend on position wise? Because he was a third baseman.
Yeah. Like third baseman of all time. Like what do you rank?
I say 2 because there's no way he's going to outbeat Mike Schmidt of all time when it comes to third baseman. As much as, and I know, I really hate Braves fans. I don't want to get any shit from. As much as I love Chipper Jones, but when it comes to third baseman, Mike Schmidt is the greatest third baseman of all time.
Yeah.
No matter how you look at it, dude was part of the 600. Even though he retired, I thought he only finished his career with 548 home runs. I'm not saying. And it's just like you can't outbeat that. But the only person you cannot outbeat is Greg Maddux and his Gold Gloves. 17. This is like
17.
17 as a pitcher, man.
You talking about Greg Maddux, the one that played for the Cubs, right? Greg Maddux.
This was during I think his prime when he was with Atlanta for his majority of his career.
Okay.
And I've actually caught it, back then when players got some unknown players maybe like Matt Antonelli kind of. I've actually watched Matt Antonelli on YouTube. He used to play, played along Maddox on the back end of his career. I watched another guy, John Matt, Yugo Pro Baseball too. So I watch his stuff as well. I even try to improve my game myself. But and the thing too, I didn't start pitching until I was about my early teens, about 13, 14 years old, and my arm, and I've been criticized a lot over the years because. My velocity is not up to par because Greg Maddux is. I know it sounds a stretch because Greg Maddux is the one guy I've modeled my game after. Low velocity, but I just worked with movement. That's just I've always been. I mean, recently I've been started gaining velocity. I mean, I've been hitting mid to high 80s. Maybe I think it hit one time on a good day. I think it hit 90. But my lowest was my top is 88.
Okay.
Because I have other 4 pitches I can work with, so I'm still and I can still be a junk bowler when I wanted to.
Okay.
But watching guys like Greg Maddux or Chipper Jones, the way that he can do things, and God, I wish I can go back in time, and I was born say if I was born in the 70s, I wish I could have the ability to watch Ken Griffey Jr. in his prime. With the Seattle Mariners and what he has accomplished.
Yeah.
God, I mean, him and his dad, though, man.
I'm a big fan of people like King Griffey.
I still remember home run.
Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire.
Oh, God. I lived through that era of baseball.
Yes,
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
I still remember. I looked at the picture of Barry Bonds when he was with the Pirates, man. He was thin as fucking hell. But when he went to the Giants, for some odd reason, he bulked up as That's
Yeah.
I feel that's not natural.
Now I got this question I want to ask you. What do you rank Barry Bonds? Where you ranking Barry Bonds at in his
As a hitter
position?
wise,
Or
oh,
as a hitter, right, in his position?
that's a tough one because I was never a big Barry Bonds fan, but I did appreciate what he has accomplished as a hitter.
Yeah,
Despite it was a steroid era. That was the common thing
yeah.
in the
That's why
early
he's
two.
not. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
No, he's
He's still not in the Hall of Fame.
no. Another guy I would really hope to see in the Hall of Fame is Roger Clemens. The
Yeah.
Rocket.
Yes. He was
God,
good with
I
us. He was
still.
old. He was
Oh,
about 40 years
I
old, but
watched
he
you
was
watch
good.
a college baseball game in the alumni game where he pitched for Texas.
Yeah, man,
This is like,
he was so good
and
against
Nolan
with the
Ryan can
Houston
still throw
Astros.
it too for a guy his age. I think the last
Yeah,
time he was clocked was 86. It's like
he was
this.
good. He was good when he was with the Astros. He was old, but he led us to the World Series. He was dynamic. That wasn't the pitching. That wasn't the pitching fault. That we lost that World Series against the White Sox. That was clearly the bats' fault because the bats
Oh
never
yeah,
showed up in that
there's a
series.
lot of
No,
things that can go
no, yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Like if
That
you have a
wasn't the
great
pitching
pitch staff,
fault.
but your offense can't produce.
Yes,
And this is
yeah,
this is why I say I think this is why I think you can accustom to seeing what the Mets are doing. I mean, they
yeah,
have a good pitching and good offense, but the problem is they can't hold on leads with the
yeah.
bullpen that they have.
And the pitching has done well for them too. The
Oh,
pitching has
exactly. I
actually
mean,
done
think about
well
it,
for
because
them. They just
Degrom
haven't
is
scored.
superhuman
Yeah.
for what he's done, and I've actually watched one because I've watched a shit ton of MLB Network, so
Oh yeah, bro.
I'm
I
a
love
baseball
that.
junkie when
Yeah,
it comes to that.
I'm a sport junkie on Rob, but I do watch baseball too,
Because
bro.
the
Too.
comparison with I see when I'm seeing it like when Pedro Martinez, God, prime Pedro Martinez, man, was
Man.
that was I was Mitch is in the chat.
What up, Money Mitch? What up, Money Mitch? Yeah, Money Mitch, you're not a baseball fan.
God,
I'm all around, bro. I
yeah,
love
same
baseball,
here.
man.
The only
I
thing
love me some
the only
baseball.
thing I don't really have much knowledge of is hockey.
Yeah,
So,
I stay away from hockey. I stay away from soccer. The main thing I love is football. Basketball, I love. That's my
oh
diehard.
yeah,
Like, basketball is my diehard sport. I
oh
fall
yeah.
through
For me,
on,
everyone
on
has
basketball.
yeah, yeah. Because the way that I see it, because I mean, the Phillies should definitely make a move. I think all teams do, and I
Mm-hmm.
think when it comes, and I want to as much, and that's the thing too. Like I kept it up with the Texans. It was like, see,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like I just feel like I just kind of feel weirded out that JJ Watt's now no longer there. I still
Yeah.
remember when they drafted oh my god, what's the fuck's his name in the first
He
inaugural
was
season?
he was a
God,
DN. He was a DN or he was a quarterback.
he was a quarterback. I can't. He was
Derek Carr. You talking about David Carr?
no, it's David Carr.
David Carr. Yeah,
Oh my god,
Derek
I
Carr
remember
brother.
how
Yeah.
fucking horrendous he was.
Yeah, he was. I'm gonna tell you this. David Carr was actually pretty decent, but the offensive line was just shit. The
Oh
offensive line
yeah,
was just dog shit. That was it. That's why Derek when he was on his feet, he was okay. He was a pretty good. He was a pretty good runner and pretty good thrower. But the problem is we had a terrible offensive line. Our offensive line was so goddamn bad, man. That was the problem. The offensive line couldn't even block you if you came through that. That's how bad the offensive
oh
line
yeah,
was. The offensive
and that's
line
the
was,
thing too.
yeah,
Like JJ, and now the fact that JJ Watt's and no Cardinal, it's just like
yeah,
I just feel like I feel like Arizona is probably going to be a Super Bowl contender just by
yeah,
having something like JJ Watt on that. What's it, defense or offense?
yeah. He on the defensive side of the ball.
That's just like man, it's just like us when we got Ryan Kerrigan. Still,
Yeah,
which that flew under the radar to me. Because I didn't know that he signed with the Eagles. I was like, okay, so
yeah, I
I've
missed
heard the
on
rumors
that.
about that. It's like the Bengals wanted him, the Pittsburgh wanted him, but the fact that he's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be wearing Eagles green, it's like hey, look, more power to us. And look, and I
Yeah,
understand
inside of the
why
division
he
too.
left Washington because
Yeah,
Chase Young just as a whole nother specimen
yeah,
entirely.
he's on another level, man. He's a pit bull. That's a pit. That's like a pit bull on a damn chihuahua right there. You can't. That's just a goddamn stud. And then they got a bunch of first rounders on that damn defensive line. See, that's the only
Oh
thing
yeah,
when you go when you that defensive line is scary, man. That defensive line
oh yeah,
is scary. They definitely get to the quarterback. They can get to the quarterback, man.
and I and this is and look, as much as I don't actually, I kind of respect what The only thing I don't like about the Washington football team is their ownership.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
always been critical of the ownership, and what has come out of the Washington football team in the recent years is like, yes, I think it's time for a change.
yeah. I
But
think it's time for a change too,
and
man.
it was it's the same. Oh God, and this is the thing too. And I've as soon and this is when it comes to the what's Deshaun Watson's going through.
Yeah,
Number
yeah, yeah.
one, and I'm taking this from my perspective as a criminal justice major in college. I just find this very bit sketchy. I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like if some may be true, like take that for what you will, because I lived.
Yeah,
There's a saying because I take everything with a grain of salt
yeah.
until you find deep dive into it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that it came out, I just feel like that
Yeah,
was so sketchy,
yeah,
and just like I was like, I did not see, I didn't know anything about this.
yeah.
But the
Only
fact
two of
who
them is
gets
true. Basically, two just true, and that's it.
that's what I'm
Two of
saying.
them.
Two
That's
of them
it.
might,
That's it. That's it. There ain't nothing.
but
All of those ain't true. Go ahead.
I just feel, and that's the thing too. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know how to describe the situation. As much as I
Mm-hmm.
would love to see him Eagles, but I don't think that this is the perfect time.
Yeah.
And I think Mitch, I think somebody talked about. I think it was Eagles Uncensored when I was on
Yeah.
there. Yeah, because I remember that because it's like we talked about. I think all of us talked about this. I don't think it's the right time to get him as much as, and would love to do that because I'm a huge Clemson guy,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and I
love
want.
Clemson too. Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
but it's just like you know, even now,
Yeah.
like I think Trevor Lawrence, I feel like he's going to do pretty well in his first full year
Yeah.
in Jacksonville.
Yeah. I
But
got faith. I got faith in Trevor
oh
Lawrence. He's
yeah,
going to be a pretty
like
decent
think about
quarterback,
it
man.
because people are
He-
calling like the Tom Brady of college football. Like,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
look, I
He's
mean,
gonna be.
it's
Yeah. He's gonna
like
be
me and
fine.
my buddy Tyler, who's my handicap friend that I've gone to school. I've been, even though he lives in Raleigh, but we've been high school friends for years,
Yeah.
and we're both Clemson guys, and I mean, we were just. I was surprised how great of a quarterback he is in college. But
Mm-hmm.
the question that remains to be seen: can he translate that same production onto an NFL, which is a whole
Yeah.
different competition?
Yeah. That's how I
That's
feel
the
about Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer too is his head coach too from Ohio
that's
State.
speaking
Urban
of
Meyer.
Urban Meyer. I would have never thought he would be an NFL head coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would never have thought
Yeah.
of that. I mean, like us, man, we had Chip Kelly for like the last no what 2015 to when did we get Doug 2016? God, when was
Yeah.
God, I would think yeah. And look, as much as I'm a little bit critical of Chip Kelly, but the one thing I do give him credit for was getting some of the players that we had,
Mm-hmm.
drafting guys. But the only thing I'm very critical on, trading guys like LaShawn McCoy, Jeremy Macklin
Mm-hmm.
away, and
Oh yeah.
that
Chip
just
Kelly
set me
did that to
off.
him. Yeah. Chip Kelly did that to y'all
And
like that,
someone made a
man.
meme, I
Chip
think
Kelly just totally did it.
years ago. It's like he said there was someone did like a fake news thing, say breaking news that Chip Kelly's traded the entire Eagles organization for a corn dog or something like that. Because the way that his trades went down, it's like that's where I just started cracking up laughing because it's like this is I
Yeah.
feel like that's just where it was going to head. It's like as much as and now looking back at it, it's just like and God, I don't know. There's something about it. There's a lot of things that kind of rub me the wrong way, and I like to voice my criticism about.
Mm-hmm.
But positive out of that, we had a couple winning seasons under Chip Kelly.
Yep.
We had some good players coming out of the drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Not the fact that this year's NFL draft, we actually I feel like we did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Get the haul. Still,
Mm-hmm. I
just
mean,
seeing
like
Giants
I was
fans,
saying,
fucking get pissed off. It's still the greatest thing. It's still the greatest
yeah,
feeling in the world.
yeah, man, that's like a slap in the face right there. Y'all move up to get the bucket. Yeah, that's like
Like I saw
that's like
Cop Pistols.
slap in
I
the
saw
face.
like Cop Pistol, like freaking, did a freak you. There's just two other ones. I think there was a mother and son channel that Giants channel. I thought that was funny. It's just like But yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like I think overall, I feel like as in this organization has done well to produce or build around
Mhm.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though there's a few negatives that need to be addressed here and there, but I don't think
Mhm.
it's. And that's the thing too. And I just feel like record wise, if I want to predict, I say there could be a. I say 7-9. Well, what is it? A 17 game season?
Yeah. 17 game season this time. Yeah.
Well, actually, that could be. Yeah, I thought it was 18 because that's
Yeah,
what
because you get
I
a bye.
thought.
I think you get a bye
Okay,
round.
yes,
You
you
get a
get a
bye week.
buy. Okay,
You get a bye week. Yeah.
because I thought I at first I thought okay, because maybe it went to an 8. So, okay, I
Yeah.
would have thought uh
Then you get three
maybe
wild cards. It's three wild cards
yeah
now.
I know 3 way
Yeah.
yeah I thought maybe there could be at least a double. I think it was like a 9 win team. I say like between 7 and 9 wins for this team
Okay. Well, that
as
would
my
be
prediction.
actually a huge improvement, due to what
Yeah,
happened last year.
because think
And
about it. Because
yeah,
2016,
again, man.
I mean, other than 2017, I mean, we started out slow, and that's the thing, Joe. And I feel like maybe we can be proved wrong. Maybe it could be this be a double digit winning team. I say
Yeah,
maybe.
that would
I
be
mean,
that's
best case
not
scenario is 10-7.
yeah.
That's my best case scenario, or 11-6, depending on how great that the Philadelphia Eagles can
Hmm.
outscore their opponents. But I feel like some of the teams that might give us challenges, the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like
Hmm.
Baltimore might be a problem,
Yep.
and I think Tennessee. Those are my three
Oh yeah,
teams.
Tennessee gonna be a huge
God,
problem.
I feel like
The
Derrick Henry's just a cheat code.
Man, and the Rams gonna be a problem too. The
Oh, that's
Buccaneers,
right.
the
Right now they
Rams
got
gonna be a
Matthew
problem.
Stafford
Yeah,
taking the helm.
that's gonna be a problem too. They're gonna be a big problem. I feel like in the NFC, that's the only team that can probably match toe to toe with the Buccaneers right now. Straight offensively,
Yeah.
but defensively, they got the best corner. They got the best defensive line. They linebackers, you kind of question them a little bit, but you can't question anything else on the Los Angeles Rams. You can't question
Oh
anything
yeah.
else about them guys. Them guys. Then they got a
I
great
mean,
head coach too. They got a great head coach
Sean
as
McVay's
well.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Is
he's
pretty
pretty.
good.
Yeah.
Now you got a great defensive line, especially now you got Aaron
Oh yeah,
Donald
yes,
still.
yes,
Dude, how about
yeah.
fucking Aaron Donald playing some hoops?
Can
It's
you?
like what?
He's pretty
He
decent.
can. I think there was a video about it saw on Twitter that's been
Yeah.
going around. But yeah, like you said, I think LA's could be a tough challenge. Tampa Bay, I don't know because I don't think because I think and Chris Godwin's probably not going to come back to Tampa Bay because the last time I heard because they haven't agreed to an extension. It's like
I think he on a franchise tag. That's what he on.
I would
Yeah,
think so.
yeah, he's on a franchise tag. I guess if he don't get paid next year, he might thinking about leaving. The Packers.
If I were the Eagles, man, I'll just snatch him right up.
the Packers
And
may
look,
the Packers may lose Devontae Adams. They may lose Devontae Adams
I
next
saw
year.
that, man.
They may
What
lose
is
him next
going
year.
over there at Green Bay?
They
They're
just
burning
coming
bridges with.
apart.
They
Just coming
just
apart,
did it with
man.
Aaron Rodgers, which that's and look and I'm not a huge Packers fan, but that really kind of pissed me off as a football fan. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you got one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I mean, no disrespect to Tom Brady or anything, what he's done over the last
Mm-hmm.
20 plus years, but Aaron Rodgers has brought a lot to the city of Green Bay,
Yeah,
and the fact that you're blackballing him and Devontae Adams in there,
yeah.
that says a lot about the front office.
Yeah, and the better thing, the slap in the face to Aaron Rodgers.
Oh
When
my
you go
god,
up in the first round and get a quarterback, and you knew you need an extra receiver,
I still
yeah,
remember that that's him and Favre did not like each other when
yeah. But you go up in the first round to
to
get a
take a
quarterback,
quarterback.
and you could have took a backup running back or someone as a receiver to help Devontae Adams out. And so that was like a slap in the face to Aaron
It
Rodgers.
was. It's just
Yeah, that was a
and
slap in the face.
and think about us. We took Jalen Hurts for the second round pick, and
Yeah, you had to
look
come
what
with
happened
yeah.
with that.
Yeah, that was
Exactly. So,
yeah.
but
The same situation,
I
basically.
think over time, I feel like this is going to wind up paying off in the end
Yeah, yeah,
because I feel like Carson, as much as and I said this too, like the one of the picks that the Philly Eagles traded away could have been for Deshaun Watson.
yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously the Texans picked them up. And I was like, fuck.
And the Eagles, like I say, it pretty much been downhill. Like that year that we went to the Super Bowl, and then the very next year we
We
struggled,
stink.
we stunk, but we get to the playoffs. But we basically beat Chicago on a doink field
Oh
goal.
my god!
Oh
I
my
feel
god!
God. Their kicker Cody Parkey just got
Uh,
absolutely
uh,
amount of death threats because of that.
oh my god! And then that Saints game, I
Oh
don't
my
want to
god!
play.
I still
Man,
remember. Yeah,
I
Phil.
thought Jeffrey
The
dropped
city
the
Phil.
football right there.
My god!
Yeah, oh my god! That
And
just
look, and that's the thing too. When when Jalen Hurts actually defeated the Saints, it's like okay, at least I think we got something here as a
yeah,
potential.
yeah.
Something what. And this is where I feel like this is where Carson Wentz kind of regressed a little bit. As soon as he got that ACL injury, I feel like that's where that ACL injury kind of took his
And
mobility
yeah,
away.
I
And
I believe that and Nick Foles winning that Super Bowl, finishing out. That's why I believe we got Carson Wentz right there. Kind of the mental tough, the mental inside the mental toughness kind of got Carson Wentz a little bit because when he tore his ACL up and then Nick Foles won that Super Bowl and then he got bloated up. He got bloated up a little bit.
it just
Yeah,
ruined.
yeah, just
How
kind of.
about Ben Roethlisberger looking lean coming
Oh yeah,
back?
he not even big no more.
No,
He
like
look in
what?
shape. He look in
It's like
shape.
what happened?
He
And
look
as
in
much as
shape.
and look, and I really don't not like the Steelers one bit, but I feel I like some of the players. Like Schuster is a good wide receiver that they have.
Yeah.
Ben, as much as God, what did he? I mean, even despite the controversies that he had in his past,
Mm-hmm.
but God, it's just like I don't know. Pittsburgh had some decent players over the. God, my
Yeah.
favorite Steeler all time was Troy Polamalu.
Oh yeah, I like the
It's like,
Troy
how could you
Polamalu. I
not
like
miss?
it.
Because you can't miss him because of his
Yeah.
long hair.
Oh yeah, but then again, I used to like Troy
Jerome Bettis is
Polamalu.
another one that I've actually enjoyed. I've liked the bus, or was
I
it?
just like
Is that
Troy
was
Polamalu used to jump over the line. He used to skip over
God, this
he used to jump right over the
like
line.
you don't see that. Like that's funny.
That is funny, man. That is funny. He
Hey,
used to
look,
jump
it
right
was
over the line.
effective though. Like
Yeah,
it was funny.
he used to grab you from behind and get you down when he jumped. He used to stop the
Like
whole
he's gonna
progress
drag
too.
your ass down. Like no.
Yes, it wasn't no question.
Well,
He was
yeah, I
getting you
mean,
down. He was a tough safety, man. He's pretty tough. He was pretty tough. But
yeah.
I said anything like, I mean, I want to get into the Sixers.
Oh yeah.
What was the who do you see Doc Rivers being a head coach long term of this team?
I would think so because the way that I see it, you know, get rid of his postseason resume. He
Mm-hmm.
changed the culture of the Sixers. Something
Okay.
that Brett Brown hasn't done since
Oh yeah, he's horrible. Great, bro.
because think about it this way: having and as much and having Doc, and that's the thing too. Like I didn't know how before, this is before Doc Rivers was hired. Like I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. Like I mean, the only one that would probably make sense was Ty Lue, just because of my
Mm-hmm.
childhood memory, just
That's
AI
who James Harden wanted.
step over him because I
That's
thought
who
that.
Harden wanted. Harden
And
wanted
what
Tyler. Yeah.
I didn't know Ty Lue was a player back in the early 2000s
He played for the Lakers.
until I had to rewatch that. I was like, oh shit, because
Yeah.
AI was my favorite Sixer growing up. He's always been that way. But the
Mm-hmm.
only problem that I had, the only just negative I didn't like about him was his off the court stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, he deserves to be a Hall of Famer of what he has done. I mean, he's given a lot to the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, oh
AI
yeah,
has,
yeah, definitely.
and it's just like
Definitely.
I mean, there's nothing really bad I can say about it. But long term wise, yeah, I mean, so do I believe some of the questionable decision was dumb? Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, some coaches made some dumb, questionable decisions.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, and this is what I see. I know Ben Simmons. I know it's not going to come back
Mhm.
because the only ones are on the. From what I've been hearing, Bradley Beal might because there's only four
Yes.
teams. There's
Yeah.
only four teams that are interested. It's Golden State, us, Boston. What was the other one? God, I can't think of it. But I kind of feel like there's two. I feel like there's two teams that we could possibly. I feel like us and Golden State could be possible options
Yeah.
because I feel like I think we have enough. I mean,
Yeah.
we have enough to actually offer because I'm
Okay.
And I don't know if you watched my video, but I broke down Ben Simmons' contract by 2025. We're paying over.
I watch your videos every time. Like I watched
I
the
was
one
like,
where you
oh,
said Ben Simmons look like he doesn't know how to play some basketball. I watched that.
exactly.
I
And
told
that's
you
the thing.
about
I
that.
watched his college highlights. Like, where the fuck was this? Like, where's the LSU Ben Simmons that I've seen? I was just like, oh, what
Oh
the
my
fuck?
god.
And that's the thing too. Like, I've never been a supporter. I've never been a defender. I just, for some odd reason, he just came off as a posh kid. I don't know. Maybe it's just that's just me. His attitude kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Ever since he joined FaZe Clan, I feel that's just where his mindset has been is toward gaming.
Yeah.
You know, buying a lot of fucking cars and all that shit.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is where, as much as I don't, I feel like I would rather see. That's the thing too. Like, I could imagine bringing Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard to the city. Could you imagine how dangerous that team?
That would be a great team right there. That'd be a
exactly. And then I
right
think
there.
and I've been a big fan of Tyrese Maxey.
He's good. But you gotta feel some type of time. You gotta feel some type of feeling that if Ben Simmons get traded, he might go with he might be packaged in a deal for a star player.
From the last time, like, it was, I think your Houston Rockets is the one. That's the one team that wanted Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and Tyrese Maxey, and a couple first round picks for James Harden. But
did you think? In your
I feel like that was too much.
Okay. I was just about to ask you the question. I was just about to get to that question. Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But that kind of set off something in my head. So, okay, so I feel like Ben Simmons is not going to last much here in Philadelphia much longer. Because when he was offered up, when Houston wanted Ben Simmons, it's like interesting because it's like, I don't know. Maybe it was just weird to think about it, during that trade deadline. But now seeing come almost full circle, now you have Indiana offering. That was just a weak ass offer by Indiana.
What they offer? What did they offer?
I think Malcolm Brogdon and like a couple picks.
Damn, Malcolm Brogdon. What's up with everybody trading him? They giving him.
I don't know because I remember he had some good times out in Milwaukee. And that's the thing too. Good for Milwaukee, man. It's been almost half a century since their first championship. It's like, God, they had some like great players over the years. Even in their history, you got Oscar Robinson. I forgot. I even forgot Abdul Jabbar played for the Bucks back then.
Yeah.
I forgot about it because when I think of Abdul, Kareem was with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Because that's where almost he's associated with. You got Larry Bird, but there's some players that are more iconic with their teams.
Yeah. So did the Sixers actually talk to the Rockets about that deal? About the first round?
I know. All I've heard or saw that Morey rejected the trade offer.
Yeah.
But only because the owner, the front office did it out of spite because of what kind of felt like Morey they kind of took it as Morey turned his back.
Yeah. I believe the Rockets didn't want to make that deal tomorrow. He didn't want to make that deal. They didn't want to make that deal tomorrow.
Yeah, and Greg Millen actually talked about this too.
Yeah,
because I'm going to have him on as well for our roundtable because he did. I think he did a video covering this trade, and it was like, why would have someone like James Harden who has the most? I mean, he's a great player, but I kind of feel like off the court he's more like a prima donna of what he's been. I don't know, like it's
because he was trying to he did all those stuff because he tried to get out of Houston. He was trying to get out of Houston, so that was perfectly.
And look, I don't blame him for wanting to get out of Houston because I know Houston doesn't really want to. And I have no disrespect to shitting on the Rockets.
No, I know what you mean. Like I say again. Everybody won't do it to the Texans too, but I can take it, man. Like I said,
I just feel like the best team that has a bright future, I feel like it's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, they got a lot of picks, man.
They got a lot of draft picks for the next 5 to 10 years. Holy Christ!
They love to get loaded with draft picks. But James Harden, he did that just to get out of Houston. But like I say, I understand you want out, but don't do it. Don't
do it on a scale to bring like the national media on yourself.
Yes, don't do it like that. Don't pick with teammates because you want out, man. Don't do it
No,
all right. Don't. That
and
ain't the
that's the
right
thing
way to
too.
do
It's
it.
just
That's
like
unprofessional.
it's weird because it's just like he's as much as I liked him because he's got like a freaking he just look like he just will still daggers at you and just like pop a three. It's
Yeah.
like the disrespect in that. God, it's like he's like and another guy that I feel like who's got a if he can still stay healthy is Chris Paul. And
Yeah,
as
yeah,
much,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
God, to be honest, I really wanted to have the Suns because of Monty Williams because he was here, one of the coaches in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and still, I'm still pissed about that Michael Bridges trade. I'm still pissed about that.
Every Philly fan is still
God,
pissed about that.
it's just like, but what I've seen, what Chris Paul has done, was it what in his 36, 37, somewhere in that age range. The
Yeah,
fact that he's playing like his younger self. I
it's
don't know. There's
amazing.
something about veteran players when they go to change the scenery, they kind of rejuvenate the career. Like
Yeah,
Drew Holiday, for example. I'll
yeah.
never forget it. Like this dude, and as much as people would, I feel like he's still unappreciated with like Lou Williams.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Lou
yeah,
Williams for a guy who's 36 years old still has it what he can do off the bench. Like
yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah.
I'm which is sad. He didn't work out here in Philadelphia as I would have hoped because it's like,
Yeah.
God, Thaddeus Young, he's still doing pretty good for himself.
Oh my
God,
goodness.
Thaddeus Young's still playing. Drew Holiday's playing. Lou Williams. God, there's a lot of other players I can think of. But I feel like Drew Holiday, I feel like he kind of just revitalized his career out in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
and God, I couldn't imagine what Giannis would have looked like in the Sixers uniform. But then
Mm-hmm.
again, it's just like I don't know. Could that even work with? And look, and we got our big man of our own in Joel Embiid. That's a given.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah. That's
problem
it.
that I
Yeah.
see is the point guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and, and I
Everybody do. I told the Sixers fans is no. I said no. I said I love
there's no
Philadelphia. I
way where
respect Joel Embiid.
if you trade
But
Embiid, man, you'll be out of your goddamn mind. I know
man,
for a fact.
there's no way in the world
There's no way.
Ben Simmons will ever work with that team. There's no way in the world.
And this is what I find ironic. Even though what MB said, I feel like he was calling up Simmons on his bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like and I think to myself like if I was Simmons, like how would look in your teammate? Even Danny Green came out and criticized him. It's like
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, now this is going to make the Carson Wentz drama all over again.
I mean, like, what the like? I mean, Sam supposed to be the shooting coach. What the
Exactly.
hell is he in the gym doing? What the hell is he practicing? He ain't I guess he not even practicing on his threes. I mean,
We all know he has a great three.
yes, and he
I
has
saw him. He can shoot threes in college, but it's just like.
I mean, he has a good form on his 3-point ball. I mean, like I said again,
it's like
I mean, the first thing you do when you play basketball is you pick up a ball and shoot.
Exactly.
That's
and I played a lot of and I've said this when I tweeted out. I talked to a few buddies of mine. It's like, look, I never had a perfect jump shot playing pickup games. When I got better, the only way I got better was playing pickup games and just had to get the reps in that way because that's what we did. Even when I played junior high basketball, which sucked though because I was just a team. I was pretty much the equipment person. But I mean, I still got some playing time. But those are like the quote unquote fifth quarter minutes. That I don't know if that kind of. But yeah.
Like, again, man, Ben Simmons, I don't understand why he don't shoot. It seemed like he regressed
sure, as soon
a
as he got
lot.
that max contract, he just says like, fuck it, I'll just take the money and run.
Hey, did y'all go up in the draft to get him? Oh, that was folks. Which one? That was folks or him?
I think we had the number overall because we tagged for the number 1 overall pick.
I believe that was folks that y'all go up to number 1 to get, or because Tatum was right there. Y'all could have had Tatum too.
Yeah, but think about it, because and that's weird because I don't know where I'm standing between having Simmons and Fultz too. Like, I mean,
and Fultz used to be a great shooter in college.
Exactly. There's something about the NBA. They with some play, and look, you had like guys like Jalen And as much as I hate the fucking Celtics with my Celtics,
Oh my goodness.
but you have guys like Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown who, striving to work to get better.
Mhm.
Even Tyrese Maxey, who's a goddamn rookie, who's
Yeah.
showing you up. It's like hit 25 threes in a row. That's just
Mhm.
that's like, dude. It's like, as I've heard, there's some mentions saying is like, there's you're not a point guard. I
Yeah.
think and I've done, and I played a lot of 2K. The only position I've actually put him in is the power forward.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Size.
I feel because his size, he's 16, he can play
And
defense.
look, he's got
That's the only
speed of a
position.
point guard and the ball
Yeah.
handling skills, but it's
Yeah. Yeah,
oh
that's the only time you feel like he can work is when you put him at another position and power
exactly.
forward, and then put
And
a
think about
bunch
it,
of shooters around him.
and then when Doc Rivers said it, he was pretty good
Yeah,
in the other positions. Let's like I'm thinking to myself like, but then again, I think most Sixers fans want him out of Philadelphia. So I mean,
yeah.
I could. Because think about it, because we're paying like 30 plus like the next handful of years, and then 2025 we're paying him over 40 million.
That's a
I think
lot of money.
the only guy I would if the only guy I would think that would deserve all that kind of money is Joel Embiid. Of what he has accomplished
Yeah.
this season, and even the player on a torn fucking meniscus, a torn meniscus of all goddamn injuries. The fact that he can still put up 30 plus points on a torn meniscus in his right knee, it's like
Yeah.
it's just like, and that's the reason why.
That,
Because of my green screen, but I actually did buy his jersey after the playoff series ended. As soon as I got,
oh,
and another,
yeah.
yeah,
That's a tough job, man. Playing through that, a
yeah, it was
pain
tough,
like that.
but I do get the head. I mean, see, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where I want to put when it comes to head coaches. I know Nate McMillan was an interim, but what I
Mhm.
kind of feel like he's kind of re and as much as I know, Atlanta has that one thing where they tend to choke.
Yeah.
They got the Falcon. And I still fucking shit on Falcons fans all the time because it's like you're up by like 28. You're up 28-3 over the Patriots, but the fact that you choked in I was like, oh my
Oh,
god.
shit. I mean,
I
like
think
I say, y'all close to losing y'all bench. Philadelphia 76, y'all close to losing the bench. I
I
believe
think
some
another I th-
1 year rentals. So what do you
um
do in the off season? To
I would just go for the bench, address the bench.
yeah,
Honestly, the only guys I would keep on Dwight Howard, I would keep on the bench because he's actually been pretty impactful for us since.
okay.
I know George Hill, he needs to go. I mean, there's
Everybody say that.
it's just like there's something about George Hill that just never worked out.
Yeah,
I guess probably can keep Tyrese Maxey on there for like another year to help develop
yeah.
him a little bit. Because the dude, there's something about Tyrese Maxey and what John Calipari can do with the
Mhm.
Kentucky basketball. There's something about that. It just like his who else came out of Kentucky? God, there's I'm
That's on
blanking out.
y'all team or anybody team.
It's just for anybody because there's something about Kentucky that
Yeah,
produces. Was it?
Jamal Murray from Denver, that
Did
point
Anthony
guard.
Davis come out of Kentucky? Because I'm not. I know.
DeMarcus Cousins, De'Aaron
Oh,
Fox.
oh my god!
Yeah,
It's just like there's something about Kentucky that produces a lot of ready NBA ready talent.
yeah.
The fact that and I'm still fucking shocked about this is that how we stole Tyrese Maxey was a steal of the draft because he was projected to be in the top 10.
Yeah,
It's like I don't know what the issue was that he slid down. So I was like, because Tyrese Maxey was the only one that kind of stood out because of the college that he went to, and the
yeah,
John Calipari because of like you said, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, De'Aaron Fox.
yeah.
Who else came out of there? That's
Devin Booker.
really he came out of Kentucky. God, not at least know why.
Yep, Kentucky native.
God,
I got another question. I'm gonna ask you this one more question, and I'm gonna close it out because I gotta go
oh
have
yeah,
my honey out. The last question, man, of the day. Do you see the Phillies do you see the Phillies somehow making a run? One more last run. Do you see it?
I would think so if they can do the right moves and what
Okay.
like if you can like tweak the starting rotation and the bullpen. fix the center field problem every now and again. I think if they can do that properly, and then and then you got McAble coming up to the system, and now you got Andrew Painter entering your organization. I think over time, I feel like the pitching is going to come, despite we have a shitty farm system. We had some decent prospects like I said, McAble, Andrew Painter, Bryson Stott. This, I think another guy I feel like is very underappreciated is Derek Hall.
Okay.
And actually, he actually followed me on Twitter, I think, a couple months ago, because it's like, he's their first base product, and with Haas, and I've talked to my buddy Tyler about this too with Hoskins. I feel like the height that Hoskins brought when he got called up, I kind of felt like that just faded away quickly. Yeah. I just feel like I feel like time we need a better first baseman.
So yeah.
And Freddie Freeman was another potential free agent names for first base. It's like, oh my god! But I doubt it. Like, there's certain players that I don't think they're ever going to leave. DeGrom probably is never going to opt out.
Okay, so you said Rhys Hoskins, you need to move on from Rhys Hoskins.
I think so, because defensive wise, he's okay, but we need someone who's a consistent hitter. Like a Freddie Freeman kind of type of hit, first baseman.
Freddie Freeman, very good hitter, very good contact hitter, very, very good all around first
exactly.
baseman.
That's what I'm saying. Have someone like a player of his type, as a great fielder, who's can win multiple Gold Gloves, and I feel like and Anthony Rizzo. See, I would rather have Anthony Rizzo on Phillies pinstripes, and just because of his sense of what he, because I mean the Cubs are what they're doing with their with like players like Javi Baez, Chris Bryant.
I'm hearing
it's weird.
I'm actually hearing Chris Bryant name coming around in the trade deadline. I'm hearing this name a lot. I'm hearing that Cubs team for the tear that team down already after they get ready that team apart.
But here's one Mike want to question you. What do you think of the Cleveland's new name? Do you like it? The Cleveland Guardians?
It's okay.
I was thinking maybe the Cleveland Spiders or something like that. Something original. Like and look. And that's the thing too, like sports, like it's just like, how could you be number one? How do you get offended? And I can understand why some people maybe get offended because of Chief Wahoo, because all that. And same with the Reds. It's like, and I even in history too, like, and I've seen interviews with actual indigenous Native American people of Native American heritage saying so it's not offensive. It's like, what are we doing? It's like, oh my god. But but that's my.
About to go ahead.
How about Nelson Cruz getting traded to Tampa Bay?
And he hit a home run yesterday.
He did. Oh my! That's the thing too. Like, it's like some players like Nelson Cruz. I think they get better with age. Like, they're like a fine wine. They get better with age over time. That's just like, god damn.
They rallied yesterday, but first of all, great to have you on the show, man.
Pleasure, man.
Tell people where they can follow you at, and we're going to get ready.
Yeah, you can also follow me on Twitter at Philly Podcast YT, and my Instagram at Philly Sports 97. That's where you can mostly find me all the time. Or if you're not subscribed, hit that sub button to mine. I mean, because I'm trying to get it, get 100, so I could be able to host a giveaway for you guys. That's kind of what my plan was. Give away a piece of my merch from my Teespring store. Okay.
So, man, like I say, it's an honor to have you on the show, man.
Oh, trust me.
We'll see each other tomorrow again at the NBA Roundtable, man.
Yeah, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, buddy.
Yes, sir. And we out streaming.
Yep, we out.